What's up, guys? I'm gonna get into it. This is just a disassembly teardown of the Bell+Howell focus-free 28mm compact plastic camera. First off, you're gonna find 4 screws. There's 2 here on the side. I've already removed these 2. And there's 2 more right inside here. See, there's those 2. Alright, so once you get those 2 out, flip it upside down, pull it apart, so that's upside down. See this little button right here? This is the shutter release, and it'll fall out, so that's why you want to do it upside down. And then here's your lanyard wound in there. Set that aside. Alright, now here you have the lens cover. How this operates is it's got a little leg in here that moves in this L slot, and if you move the switch all the way to the right, it will fall out like that. So yeah, move this all the way to the right, pop it out. This has a little pin that it hinges on right there. Set that aside, and now you can take off the lens and the shutter actuator. Now to get the shutter actuator off, you want to push it down all the way and pull up. So pull it down and pull up on the top half. And watch this spring, make sure you don't lose that. Notice that it's on this little leg here and this leg of the actuator. Set that aside, keep an eye on that spring. For this, you want to turn this clockwise. These 3 little pegs hold it in. And be careful because the lens elements are not held together. There's the front element. Goes dome side up. Set that aside. Now you're going to want a small flathead as well as a Phillips for this. You want to dig into the bottom here. There's a little notch right there. Put the flat in there, pull up, and it should pop right out. Now that little black circle in there is the aperture. It just sits in there, so keep an eye on it. Don't let it fall out. The rear element goes dome side down. And now we're going to pull off this front plate. It's just one small Phillips head right there. I'm going to switch out my bits. Now, this one is longer than the first 4 on the casing, so keep that in mind. Keep it separate, and then pry up on this bottom right corner, and then it'll pop right off. Now we have the shutter. The shutter. Notice where the peg is holding the spring there and there. You want to remember that, and then the shutter bit here is actually on this pin right here. So you can pull it off the pin pretty easily and set that aside. Keep an eye on that spring again. Now from this point, you can pull off the door. You can probably do it as soon as you get the front cover off, but just swing it down 90 degrees and it'll pop out of these little slots here. And then the clip that holds the door will just pop out of this side slot. Now, if you wanted to make a pinhole, you could. Now that there's this little window all the way through. Or you could disassemble it more. This silver part is just a weight. It's glued in there real loosely. You get the screwdriver, you can probably pry it out and work it side to side and it'll pop right out. And then to fully disassemble this, you can undo this screw here, and then there's another one right there. You can probably see it in this little notch of the weight. What that will do is remove this box area and this side of the film reel. And you undo these two clips, and you're going to have to pop out the film rewind here. Pull up on it, and there's two little feet. You can kind of see them moving in there. And you're going to push in on one of those feet until it pops through the hole. So pull up on the film release, or the rewind lever, and then push in on the little feet. And once it pops, pry out and up, and that'll pop off. And then we undo these screws and these clips. This side of the film section will come out with this box area, the viewfinder, the counter, the shutter arm, and the rewind mechanism. I'm not going to do that now just because that's a little more in depth. And I haven't really dug into the mechanics inside of there yet. But that is how you disassemble the Bell+Howell plastic compact 28mm focus-free camera. I don't really know what the exact name of it is, but something along those lines. Now, reassembly is just the opposite of assembly, or assembly is the opposite of disassembly. You're going to want to get the shutter spring on that peg again. And then once you get it on the peg, put your finger on it, and then you can just sort of pull this onto that pin. Like that. Okay. Sorry if this is all out of whack. I am not watching the screen. Now, put this in. There's a little leg right here, and it'll go into this slot right here. It's this hole. So just line that up, and then put in the left side first. Pop down the right side, and you're good to go there. And then put the rear element in with the black circle, dome side down. And then put the front element on top of it. You could do this with gloves. It's a plastic lens, so I don't know how picky you would be about that. And this guy goes counterclockwise to lock it into place. And then you get your shutter actuator here. Get it on this leg first, and then you can hold it and put it on the other leg there, somewhere, yep, there. And once you get it on there, put your finger on that one too. And you're going to want to sort of line up those two pegs with the holes here. And you're going to want to sort of push down until you catch this bottom one, and then push in the middle, and then nudge it up, and it'll pop out. And then we're going to put in the lens cover. Remember that hole goes on that little peg, and make sure that the lens cover is on that side of the lens, and it should fit into that little L slot right there. Pop those two pegs in, slide it over, and it's locked in place. There you go. Now put in the door catch right there. Swing the door into those two slots again. Now put your thumb on this as you close it, and that'll just sort of lock it into place there. Now again, upside down. Make sure that shutter release button's in there. Now put the clamshell sort of back together, and then you'll replace the large screw into this hole. My bad. rewind and put the long screw on this side, back in that hole right there. Then flip the whole assembly upside down. Oh, good catch. Put them together, and then insert 2 screws there, and open the door, insert those 2 screws there, and you're good to go. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll do a pinhole tutorial in the next video. That right there. Cool. Alright, thank you.